Hello and welcome my soul tribe. So for the 6th of the month of love month, we're going to look into unspoken love messages. Okay, so keep in mind these are collective and general. Receive the lines, release what doesn't. I'm working with the Divine Feminine Healing by Mystic Moon Oracles and the Divine Masculine Revelations by Mystic Moon Oracles. Okay, so my intention for these messages and for those of you that are watching this is, yes, you could be in separation with this person, or there could be some questions that maybe you have for this person or had for this person that maybe would be solved within this. But this is unspoken love, unspoken kind of truths. And again, you can relate to the masculine or the feminine messages, switch it up however it applies to you. And if it doesn't align, release it. It's not for you, right? So we will start with the feminine healing messages. Some of you could be watching this simply for your own personal healing as well, right? With your feminine energy or your masculine energy. It doesn't have to apply to a person, but let's see what we have. Okay. So some of you, the message that's coming in here, if you're watching for feminine or this is your kind of your energy, we have smelling the roses. I focus on the experiences in my journey rather than the destination. Some of you have had that focus on the destination, and you've been caught between the past, the present, and the future, because we also have memories. I do not focus on what is already gone. I choose to show up and fully for myself and others in the present moment. Okay, so this has been a message about being distracted by either the past or anxious about the future, and being called into the present moment to focus on what is in front of you and appreciating it, right? To release what no longer is and to appreciate what is showing up in your experience, right? So a classic example of this would be, if you have released somebody, right? Or you've separated from somebody, or you're like wanting to hear from somebody, but that cycle has closed out. And you're at a party or you're spending time with friends, or, you're in a space where there's a lot of love and support and people there for you. If you're focused on like checking your phone and not being present and just getting more and more disappointed, it's like you're missing the whole point of all the love that is surrounding you, of all the people supporting you, right? And that what you were kind of attached to maybe wasn't the healthiest for you, but that the universe and your higher self is like putting all these loving, supportive people around you to bring you back into the present moment and to appreciate it with the smelling the roses. Some of you, this is also about you taking the time to pull yourself into the present moment through your senses, whether it is through like, the scent of a candle, or, essential oils, or, just paying attention to what you're seeing, what you're feeling, what you're touching, what you're hearing, what you're, experiencing in the present moment. And that can help keep you aligned and present and not pulled, into the past or into an older timeline, because that doesn't look like a very fun timeline, right? So that could be the case if this is a message for you personally and you're kind of in that experience. And the message from the Divine Feminine is be present, appreciate what is showing up for you, and try not to focus on, always looking for the destination as well, like charging ahead. But you actually create in the present moment, and that there's a lot of love surrounding you and opportunity and frequency for you to work with in the present moment, for you to have revelations, for you to receive the love, for you to be telling the universe what you, what more of what like you want in your experience, right? This is kind of a classic case of, sometimes you get what you need, not what you want, right? It's kind of that sort of an energy that's coming through here, but there's a lot more beauty in the present moment than what you thought you wanted from before. Okay, so that's just an example, but apply that theme as it makes sense. Now, for some of you, if you're watching this for feminine energy, like, yes, like you're haunting this person. Like they clearly, are having a hard time focusing and being present. And if they did move on with someone else, they're still thinking about you. And, like, let's say, karma kind of balanced out here in this connection, and this person is no longer in your experience because of their behavior, their actions, their decisions, or even just simple frequency, right? You no longer align. This is someone who still is affected by you, basically, is the message that is coming through. And I would say they're still focused on you. Okay. I would say they're still focused on you. And they haven't quite yet moved on just yet, right? I would say too, this person has a lot of fond memories of you, and they're looking to those, and they're drawing inspiration from those as well, because it makes them feel close to you because they really miss you, right? But if this was something that, again, it's done, you've moved on, it was, obviously you're not healthy for each other, or you broke up and there was a good reason for that. There's that sense of, it's just kind of lingering. It's that feeling is kind of lingering. The familiarity that you have with each other is just kind of lingering, um, with this feminine energy when it comes to you. Mm-hmm. And this feminine energy would be called to focus on the present moment, focus on what they need to be working on, or who they need to be there for right now. Yeah. So I'd say, yeah, I think, depending on how things unfolded with you and this person, there's certainly some regret, that they have with the decisions that they made, but they've kind of made their bed, and they need to lie in it, right? They need to address that, maybe address, some of their own patterns, their own behaviors, their own decisions, or move forward with the decisions that they did make, right? If this was a case where they did not choose you, and try not to take that personally, because oftentimes, again, it's a matter of energy, it's a matter of timelines, and this year, everybody's kind of connecting in with their soul groups, and there's a very big purpose to that. So it could be that's the case as well, but this does feel like an ex energy that is still, missing you, focused on you, um, but having experiences in their life that are pulling them into the present moment so that they can address and be and focus and work on their timeline, instead of focusing and concentrating on yours, right? Because they need to do their work and focus on what's important for them to focus on. But when they do think of you, they do feel regret, and they do miss you, right? So if anything, I think this would bring maybe a bit of closure for you, okay, if you're watching this, because I definitely feel there's a separation for a reason here, and that this person has things that they need to address either within themselves or within their own timeline, right? Because I feel like you are now on a separate timeline, and there's a reason for that too, right? You'll meet energies on your timeline, on your frequency. So yeah, that is what I have for the feminine energy. Let's go ahead and see with the masculine energy. Divine masculine energy. What do we have? Okay. All right. We have unawakened. I just wasn't ready for you. Okay. And that's true. I mean, we have free will choice. And regardless of sometimes how soul contracts are, or when we truly desire to be a certain person, or for them to see you, to see us a certain way, it doesn't always, work out that way, right? Because it has to do with the person's, like, their own perception, their own development, their own ability to heal, their own ability to recognize the way that they are seeing you through their wounds, or the ways that they are self-sabotaging, that's kind of that energy that's coming through somebody who's not awakened. And then we have gratitude. I'm a better person because of you. So this person, it definitely is reflecting on that appreciation. Maybe you introduce this person to that internal journey, to some meditation, to this could be somebody who was constantly blaming others, and not taking a look in the mirror, and not looking at where they have the power to transform or to heal those wounds, or to appreciate for what's showing up in their experience, because it's helping them to evolve and grow, right? I think this person was very much stuck in their ego. It sabotaged a lot within the connection they had with you. And some of you could be feeling like, yes, you have gratitude for the situation because perhaps it aligned you with somebody who's more compatible with you energetically and with your lifestyle and everything. Because if you're an awakened feminine energy with an unawakened masculine energy, and you're choosing to ascend and grow and evolve within your gifts and your abilities, and that person's not on board with it, it can be really repressive. It can be really a blockage for you, for your blessings and in your experience and your alignment, and all the people that you are going to meet and experience that do align and that do bring a lot of value and that are on that intuitive and awakened path like you, right? That can bring you that support and that love. Okay. But however things unfolded, whatever you taught this person, eventually it clicked into place, right? And it made them start to make some changes, okay, with all that fire energy, right? This person, and he's like holding an axe there. So I feel like this person had a lot of like past life cycles, karmic cycles. They had a lot of things that they were trying to work through, but just not in the right way. Maybe they're trying to do it all themselves. They weren't going to therapy, or very much blocked by their ego. Okay, fragile masculinity definitely here. And also the free will choice, where they could be like, okay, you can do the healing, you can transform, and they could have been with you, but they were choosing. I feel you encourage this person to look at certain things, to make certain changes, or to face some fears, even like the way he's looking at that fire. That's like looking into the transformation, right? The flames of transformation, or even his fears. And I feel like that started him on maybe a bit of a healthier journey, and becoming a better person with this gratitude here, right? And now for some of you just watching this for closure, where it's like this person is choosing in their human experience to, continue on their egoic path, continue doing things the way that they're doing them. But yet there's this part of them. So is this part of them, or part of their soul self, that is appreciative, because we see unawakened and then unawakened gratitude, right? So that might have been something too that you pointed out to this person. Maybe they're complaining all the time, and you're like, listen, like that's all you're attracting in. If you complain, that's what you're attracting in. If you appreciate what you have, you attract in more of it, right? So maybe you introduce this person to gratitude, something as simple as that, and you were a bit of a spiritual teacher in their experience, even if their ego didn't want to accept it, right? Like I definitely think this person has a very strong ego that blocks kind of their soul self from that connection. So some of you, it's like their soul self saying like, thank you, and yet their human self is definitely still navigating the transformation, and kind of what that looks like, and not yet making the changes maybe that they know they need to make. And eventually, life might align them in that way, but it just kind of depends, right? And for some of you, yes, it is simple that you just introduce this person to gratitude, appreciation, or meditation, and that has been a tool for them, that has helped them become a better person, right? But they had to pick up those tools. They had to choose to heal. They had to choose to be a bit humble. They had to soften a little bit with their ego, right? It's like they had to figure out their own way of doing it. And I feel like it's almost like you planted the seed, and they're figuring out their own way of navigating this. And some of this doesn't have to be romantic. Like this could be a family member, this could be a friend, coworker, anyone that you kind of like planted the seeds of gratitude, appreciation, or you saw maybe a bit of the potential in this person, but you knew that they were quite stubborn in their ego. And it's like they had to do it their own way, and then they start doing it their own way, and then they realize, oh, you were the one that planted the seed, and then they have that little spark of gratitude or appreciation, whether or not they would express that, because I do feel this person's quite gruff here, right? But yeah, your experience with this person did have an impact to make them a better person. So there's that. Now, what your experience was like may have been quite frustrating, to deal with this individual. And this is not an invitation especially if you've separated yourself from this person, if this was romantic and at one point very toxic, this is not an invitation to go back to this person, but this is just like a closing of the chapter, message here for you, right? That this person is being presented with the opportunity to create some sort of shift in their experience for their own personal growth and journey. And again, some of you too, you might be quite grateful that you encountered this person in the contrast, because now you know what you don't want, and you are appreciative for aligning with what you do. And now you're the one that is on your higher timeline, and you are living and creating and building from a higher frequency space, and that you have a lot of gratitude, appreciation. And gratitude and appreciation also helps you to shift your frequency, and also helps you to kind of start to kind of understand or forgive or release energies. So that could be part of your healing right now for some of you that are watching this, and you are grateful something didn't work out with someone, right? Because you know that there's better coming in for you. Because like I said, if somebody's not on board with you, they just kind of create that block and they hold you back. And it's frustrating. It's really sad, especially with spiritually gifted people, when they're misaligned in their relationships or in their connections or even in their friendships, because it does hold them back, right? Especially if they stay stuck in cycles. But I feel like you freed yourself from this cycle, or for some of you, this is you were attracting in or attracted to unawakened men, and now that has shifted and changed, and now you're attracting in men who are healthier, more balanced, and more so aligned with your lifestyle and the timeline that you're navigating, as well. So a lot of this is kind of, it's been about release. And I think for many of you maybe still pray for this person, or you send them well wishes, or you care. Their back is turned, right? Their back is turned to you. It feels like, but you did do a lot of good in this person's life, and you also did a lot of good in choosing yourself and choosing your higher timeline and choosing healthier energies to be around. And some of you, if this person's in your experience, like a family member, or a friend or a coworker, have that gratitude for having that boundary, that you have in staying in your frequency and being you and being authentic, and allowing this person just to navigate their experience and evolve and grow at their own pace. There's a freedom to that. There's a peace of mind to that as well. Okay. Because some of you might have maybe wanted to try and control a situation here, and you had to surrender. But now you have your peace, and it's really nice to have that peace and not be living in the chaos of this person's experience or the karma of this person's experience. So let's see what's on the bottom of the deck. Yeah. Oversight. I know I made a huge mistake. Okay, so this is kind of like the feminine energy if you watch that, where, this person does have regrets, but right now, do I think they would admit them? No, they won't. So sit in your gratitude and your appreciation, and continue to build in your beautiful, healed timeline, and surrender and appreciate that. Thank goodness, you are not responsible for that other individual, but that they're responsible for their experience and their choices and their decisions. And you have a lot of healthy, beautiful things coming your way. So that is what I have for this day. Okay. Let me know what resonates. Release anything that does not resonate with you, of course. Only take what does resonate with you. Some of you watching this, that could have been your journey, you know, that you were kind of in that unawakened masculine energy, and you had to unpack a lot of toxic masculinity and do quite a bit of healing. And now you're on a completely different path, and it feels lighter and it feels more healed, and it feels like there's a lot more to be grateful for and appreciate in your experience, right? So well done. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. Take the best care of yourself, and I will see you soon.